What's going on, guys? It's been quite a while since I've done an episode on my favorite things. So, in regards to the physique, by far my favorite body part is back, but I've already covered back in a previous episode. So, my second favorite body part and this week's favorite thing is hamstrings. I think when you get to the pro level, a lot of times it's not about what you have, it's about what you don't have. And I think, hamstring development is one of those body parts, kind of like calves, where I wouldn't say necessarily hard to develop, but just a lot of people lack good quality hamstrings. And I think there's a couple reasons why I have, standout hamstrings, and not to toot my own horn, but I do feel like my hamstrings is probably my better body part. And one, I guess you can say genetics, but I rather prefer to say that I have good insertions, where the muscle actually attaches. It kind of helps give the illusion of a full, round hamstring, especially on the side shots where you got that hamstring that just hangs. And then from the back, I would say that, looking at my hamstrings in the back, that I don't tend to carry a lot of body fat there. So, having a combination of good insertions, pretty good genetics when it comes to not having too much fat distribution there, it makes it a lot easier to display, my hamstrings when I am on stage. But, I also have to say that I've busted my ass over the course of many years to attain the development that I do have. So you have to have a good, solid work ethic in order to, develop hamstrings, or for that matter, your entire physique. So, over the years, I would say when I first started, over the first few years of training leading up to about probably the late 90s, 1999, the bulk of my hamstring training was just basically leg curls, lying leg curls. I wasn't doing things like RDLs, I wasn't deadlifting. So the majority of the hamstring work was coming from leg curls. And, the development, I think it basically, it represented just that. I was lacking in that department as far as hamstring development. So um, after the 1999 contest season, I did and started to incorporate some RDLs. And in a year's time, from 99 to 2000, I did think it made a pretty good significant difference. And I think in combination of dieting a little bit better in 2000, I was able to really showcase a much improved body part in my hamstrings. And it wasn't until probably 2009. So from 2000 all the way to 2008, 2009, it was mainly just RDLs and leg curls. And if I recall, it was like once per week, I would hit RDLs, once per week leg curls. So that was the bulk of my hamstring training leading up to 2009, which I did make significant improvement over the course of those years. Obviously, more time under tension, especially with a good exercise like RDLs, and also a complementary exercise like, leg curls, that I did see improvement. And also just, the fact that I was able to, hone in on learning how to diet a bit better, getting a little bit leaner, and again, displaying, more quality. And it wasn't until 2010 when Eric Helms said, "Hey Jeff, let's throw RD or not RDLs, let's throw deadlifts in the mix." So we threw in sumo deadlifts, and so hitting sumo deadlifts, basically I replaced sumos with RDLs. I didn't do both at the same time. I would mix them, every now and then. Maybe I would go 2 or 3 months with deadlift, throw in an RDL for a couple weeks, a month, and then swap them out like that. So working in that fashion, from 2010 leading into the 2011 contest season, I felt like my hamstrings improved, even more so. And again, dieting a little bit better, obviously, I was able to showcase even better hamstrings in 2011. And then we kind of fast forward to 2014, kind of more the same, just hitting sumo deadlifts leg curls, and generally, hitting those things once per week. And again, just more time under tension. So, from 2011, 2014, we're talking 2 to 3 more years of solid training, consistent training. I was able to obviously get a little bit stronger on deadlifts, a little bit stronger on RDLs, a little bit stronger on leg curls. That was how I racked up a little more volume over the course of 2 to 3 more years. So it was just, putting in the work, sticking to the basics, and, over time, that's just, you're racking up volume, or what the way I like to think of it is like I'm depositing pennies every single workout, whether it's an awesome workout, it's an average workout, or maybe even a subpar workout, you're still putting work in. You're still depositing those pennies into your muscle account, and it all adds up. And in 2014, I definitely cashed in on those pennies. So basically, kind of the way I train hamstrings nowadays, I still stick with the basics. I still, stick with a lying leg curl, once per week. It's generally 3 to 4 sets. It could be anywhere between 8 to 10 reps. And I do sumo deadlifts. I wouldn't say it's kind of sumo. It's more of a hybrid for me, but it's similar to sumo. Um, Usually 3 sets, 4 to 6 rep range, once per week, and then every now and then I'll switch that up with RDL, and when I do my RDLs, it's usually 3 to 4 sets, and the rep range can vary. Sometimes I go as low as 5, sometimes I'll go as high as 10. Um, but yeah, that's basically kind of the way I've improved my hamstrings over the years, and I think for me, anyways, I've found 3 pretty solid movements, and I don't like to use too much variety of my training, not because I don't think too much variety is a negative. It's just for me, I really like to keep things pretty simple. I stick to the basic movements, and I really try to perfect them and make them the best I possibly can for myself. And basically, with that efficiency, I feel like I can, keep being effective, and I could also try to minimize the risk of injury because my form and technique is pretty solid. So that's been my approach to hamstring training. That is definitely my favorite thing, is the hamstrings. Hopefully this was somewhat helpful to maybe someone out there. But other than that, guys, hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.